On the one hand, it seems very odd to us, I think, to see Jesus tempted by the devil, to see his weakness. And there is weakness there. Because as the devil tempts him, and we have this intimate picture of their conversation, and what's going on in Jesus' life here as he goes out into the desert and encounters Satan, we recognize the very weaknesses with which Jesus himself in his humanity struggled. It's not easy, I suppose, for the divine to become human and then to live that in perfect balance. To live what it means to be divine and to be human at the same time. And we see that the first temptation and the second temptation almost echo one another. If you are the Son of God. If you are the Son of God, Satan tempts him. And Satan tempts him because these must be the very things that run through Jesus' human mind. I know I'm the Son of God. Am I the Son of God? How do I know that I am the Son of God? The very questions that you and I might have about knowing that there is a God. I know there is a God. How do I know there is a God? Is there a God? That Jesus himself, in his humanity now, comes to know the Father, comes to know God as a human being knows God. And so he knows himself in that same light. And so the temptation that's placed before him is prove it. Prove to yourself and prove to others that you are the Son of God. You don't need faith. Prove it. Show it. Demonstrate it. Use your power. Because isn't that what it means to be God? To demonstrate power, to demonstrate strength, to demonstrate abilities that go beyond humanity? Isn't that really what it means? Now just do that. It'll make your mission easier. And I suppose it would have. If everybody knew that Jesus was the Son of God. Imagine. Look at how people followed things that were nothing like God. Look at how people bowed down and worshiped statues and carvings and images. And if there was proof, utter proof, undeniable proof that this man was the Son of God, how different things would have been. People would have been compelled to worship him. People would have been compelled to turn their lives over to him. It would have made his job easier. He could have cast down all that was evil. He could have pushed aside his accusers. He could have demonstrated and done such great things. And in that is the temptation. The easy path is always the temptation. The path to comfort, the path to convenience, the path to easiness, that's the temptation. Because it is not who we authentically are. We hear the story of the fall of Adam and Eve today, and it kind of sets the stage. And it reminds us that this isn't paradise. Things aren't easy. Part of the effect of sin is now we have to labor and toil in order to bring forth fruit. In order for that ground to bear anything, we have to work at it. In order for us to bear anything, we have to work at it. And you know that's true. You know that anything that comes to you super easy probably isn't worth it. But those things that we work at, those things that are hard, those things that we struggle at, those things that we practice, those things that we give ourselves to, that's important. Those are the important things, and that's how we grow, and that's how we learn. There's no easy learning. There's no easy growing. It happens by a journey. It happens by a path. And we have to walk that path. We have to take that journey in order to grow, in order to become fully who we were supposed to be. And Jesus in his humanity has to do the same thing. He can't take the easy way out. In other words, he can't take the non-human way out. He committed to being a human being. And now he must experience all of the difficulty and all of the journey in what it means to be a human being. It doesn't mean he wasn't tempted. And to show himself as the Son of God, to burst forth in glory, had to be a temptation. Had to be. I could make this so much easier. But he chose not to. And we see how he continually chose not to. He didn't reject Satan just once, or even 3 times in today's gospel. He would reject him over and over and over again throughout the course of his ministry. Every time he worked a miracle, every time he started healing people, every time he got a sense that people were beginning to want to make him a king or worship him, what did he do? He left that village. He got out of that town. And he told people, don't say who I am. Keep it to yourselves. He didn't want the temptation of being lifted up and made someone that he was, but that would make his job of saving us impossible. Because in order to save us, yes, he would do it for us, but he also needs us to accept him. And if we are compelled, if we are forced to worship, if there is not a doubt and there is no choice, if all of a sudden our free will is taken away, then he is not our Savior. We have to go through that journey. You can't tell someone what to believe. They have to come to believe it themselves. You can't tell someone what's right and wrong. You can, but it doesn't do any good until they believe it themselves. There is a personal journey that we have to do. Jesus certainly revealed himself as the Son of God, but he didn't reveal himself in such a way that it was forced upon us. He revealed himself in such a way that we would have to leave ourselves, that we would have to make that journey in order to accept him, in order to find him. We have to take those same steps. And we model him then in our lives. We too can't take the easy path. We too can't look for the quick fix. We have to go the journey. We have to carry the cross. We have to, in a sense, undo now what was done in sin. As Adam and Eve wanted to be God, Jesus, who was God, resists that temptation for all of humanity. The serpent comes to Adam and Eve and says, wouldn't it be so much easier if you just knew evil and good? The lie that is wrapped in there. To know evil, that makes us more like God. God who knows nothing of evil, but the lie that is told, we buy it. That the more I experience that which is evil, the more I experience temptation, the better I will be. I will know goodness. No, that's the lie. We are called with Jesus to resist that easy path, to go down the path of temptation. It's easier just to sin. It's harder to stand up for what is right. It's easier to go with the flow. It's harder to swim upstream. It's easier to pop the pill. It's easier to take the easy way out. It's easier to make the shortcut. It's easier to do all of those things for sure. But they don't cause growth. They don't lead us to goodness. They lead us right down the path of death and destruction. We want that easy way. That's the temptation. And Jesus could have fed himself. He could have saved himself. He could have done all of those things. And in doing that, he would have demonstrated selfishness. Because that's what the easy path is. The easy path is the path of selfishness. It's the path of me. I do this not for you. I do it because it's easier for me. And so as we examine our own temptations, as we examine our own struggles with the evil one, we learn more about ourselves. Jesus was driven by the Spirit into the desert to face the devil, so that the Son of God would better know himself in his humanity. You and I, at the beginning of this Lenten season now, must face our temptations, to make that examination of conscience. What is it that easily tempts me? Where are my weaknesses? Where do I want to give in to the easy path? Where do I want to give up? Where do I want to stop and to just lay down? Where are my temptations? Perhaps this Sunday doesn't offer as many answers as it gives us questions. These are the questions that we have to begin to ask ourselves so that we can face them. And so that not just once, but in every moment of our lives, as did our Savior, to reject those things that lead us down the wrong path. I can't do that. I can't go there. I can't even try that because it's going to open me up into the wrong path. It is a strange and mysterious gospel that we have, seeing Jesus in that weakness, the weakness of his own struggles and temptations. But ultimately, it will be in weakness that he saves us. Because by embracing that humanity, by embracing us, he saves us on the cross. And so likewise, we embrace now his divinity, his grace, that he wants to offer to us. Examine your conscience. Face your temptation. Bring it now in this journey of working and walking with Jesus, so that as we come to the Easter table, we will be purified and renewed. For like Christ, we will be victorious over the devil. Get away from me, Satan. But we have to know who Satan is within us in order to say those words to him. Where are you tempted? Where is your easy path out? Reflect upon that and turn from that to make your Lenten journey fruitful.